Welcome to the realm of Millenia. Week 47, Devil's Advocate, is all about standing on business. Say it in the least amount of words. You gotta stand for something, otherwise you'll be falling for absolutely everything. As the phrase goes. So in no uncertain terms, this week's 47 is all about how you gotta stand on business. But the full-length article here is overly complicated, but just so you know. Week 47, Devil's Advocate. You all have to stand your ground with what you care and dare to say publicly in public spaces. Because when you step down, that's all any kind of opposition needs to justify their continued steps of stepping up and amping up to your fellow persons who newly decided to be silent on their thoughts or beliefs, till those who dissent or have dissenting opinions to those oppositions of yours are permanently silenced forever, you included. Right? You gotta stand on business. Whatever you care to say or care to talk about, that was the entire purpose of freedom of speech. To give you that opportunity to stand on business. Now, there are limits to free speech, even in America, where you have Amendment number 1, where you're free to speak. The main priority is there that you have that opportunity to speak. Now, whether you say something suspect or gets you punished, hey, go ahead. But we're giving you the stand to say and explain yourself. The moment you're done explaining and saying your point, let's go. Get the cuffs, let's go. Right? But you have the opportunity to say what you will and have people hear what you have to say. That is amendment number 1. No one's permitted to limit who gets to hear what you have to say if you're saying it so people can hear you. You have to stand on business. You gotta stand your ground, otherwise the moment you fall silent, everyone else's voice is elevated to mean more than yours. The moment you step down, you say it once, don't stand on it, don't follow through with it, guess what? You lose all credibility. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for everything. And now that the YouTube short is over, welcome to the realm of Millenia, be man, woman, child, spirit, creature, or demon, be ye a native migrator, or maybe even invader into the realm of Millenia. Welcome, for I am your host, the Millenian Mailman, here today, bringing you guys and gals another hot take, hump day, week 47, Devil's Advocate. All about standing on business, and if you're watching this full video, I don't gotta repeat the full thing, but hey, week 47, it's all about standing on business. Stand your ground, otherwise you falling silent and stepping back is all the reasons your oppositions, your dissenting opinion opponents, that's all they need. When you don't stand your ground on what you're speaking on, if you don't care to follow through and follow up with what you care to say and believe, that is all the enemy needs to justify and gain large traction and support for going against you. That is all they need. Right? So, I had a couple examples. I didn't write them down, but just pick an opinion, right? Whatever you believe in. The famous saying, I have a dream. Martin Luther King, a well-known figure. Malcolm X is another one, a well-known figure. 2 black well-known figures in the black community. 2 well-known figures, one advocating for peace and one advocating for equality by any means necessary. They both stood on business for what they spoke on. They stood their ground and hardly ever relented, period. That's why their voices are powerful, memorable, and unforgettable. Both effective martyrs of their own belief systems. Be you on the side of Malcolm X, that was never anti-violence for that equality, or pro non-violent confrontational MLK. Right? No matter which violent or non-violent stand you take, you have to stand on business. You have to stand your ground with what you care about and believe in. Otherwise, anyone not in your camp has every justification to shut that shush down. Think about it. If Martin Luther King Jr. did not stand his ground and was willing to take the martyrdom-esque fall of being imprisoned several times for trying to advocate for these black rights and the civil rights movements, if he refused to stand his ground and take it on the chin as often as he did, do you believe that those Jim Crow laws would have ever been changed? Do you genuinely believe that if MLK, Rosa Parks, and all these other black names, including Malcolm X and beyond, if these names didn't stand their ground, that colored individuals, be they black, Hispanic, Indian, Japanese American, Asian Americans of any breed, if anyone of these non-predominantly white European figures, if you don't look absolutely white, you can be mixed blood, as long as you're not pure aesthetic white. Do you truly believe that your vote would be any more than 3/5 of white man's if these people, these predominant figures, constantly refuse to stand their ground and truly mean business? Do you believe that you'd even know much of anything about what they stood for if they hadn't stood their ground on these very personal notes? Let's take a more modern one. Dr. Umar Johnson, I believe. As if you are a part of the black community, I know you know who I'm talking about. Do you believe he would be such a well-known figure if he didn't stand his ground on his black favoritisms and black excellences? Right? He's very staunchly pro-black, opposed to any race, let alone the white ones. Right? Dr. Umar, come on now. You know, I know, we both know. He stands his ground on how he wants black people to display their excellence. He believes in black excellence. He's standing on this hill. He's going to die on this hill. He truly believes every black person is excellent, regardless of whether they're showing it and displaying it at all. Come on, my brothers. Listen here. You just confused by white chocolate. That's a perspective. And this applies no matter what you want to take it to. I took it to a more racial level. I'm black. I'm not sure if you could notice. I'm sporting a little color, so I chose that one as the first example, right? But stand on anything. Anything you're willing to talk on. This week is basically free speech week. Might use it again for next week. I don't know yet. I don't know. I might continue Free Speech Week. But this week, week 47, hot take. Free speech, important. What's important about it? You have to stand on your business. Otherwise, in this modern day era, everything you say is pretty much toxic, can be easily diminished into you being a troll whose opinion should never, ever be validated for half a second. He's trolling, he's intentionally trying to incite chaos and destruction and further confusion because he doesn't believe and stand on the business of what he's talking about. They are sowing chaos and disorder. That is a true problematic thing you never want to be labeled as in social media. A sower of misinformation, chaos, and disorder. Those are three bases that can get you arrested, even in a totally free speech, First Amendment country like the United States of America. Intentional misinformation, sowing chaos, disorder, is the same thing akin as to yelling, "Fire, fire!" in a movie theater. Stampede, potential loss of life, when you have that combination of three being proven. And that's something people can prove if they can prove that you aren't standing your ground on the things you allege to believe in. Right? If you don't believe in anything you say, yet are trying to convince other people of it, very much chaos, confusion, misinformation, you're going away. But even still, in a free speech country as the United States of America, there are limitations to free speech. The only free thing, a part of the human right being advocated for the liberty, is that you are permitted to be heard. Whatever it is you want to say, we're not going to stop you from saying it, and we're not going to intentionally overly suppress your audience. If you're in a crowd of people and your audience is the immediate vicinity, we'll suppress the recordings getting published around the community. But your goal was the audience here. We're going to let you say your piece. And if it's not okay, we're going to suppress it to be right there. Because everyone who attended, your audience, they can say it and say the speech themselves. If they truly believe it, we'll punish them accordingly. But so long as you don't and you're spreading this misinformation, we're going to say, look what you did. You ruined it. Right? You did it on purpose. Miscommunication, misinformation, chaos, disorder. Take them to jail. Right? But even on the same note, if you genuinely do believe what you have to talk about, that can give you lenience. But to a certain degree, misinformation, chaos, and disorder can come from people who are just ignorant on a particular subject. Right? If you don't actually know the true fun facts, the real facts of the matter, but you're still talking and spreading lies that you were told, we'll give you lenience, but the punishment is still the punishment for misinformation, chaos, and confusion that you're instilling. The punishment is all the same. But we'll give you leniency and reduce it because you're just an ignorant pawn in someone else's game. Someone intentionally or unintentionally confused you, so we're not going to punish you as harshly as the person who did it to you. Oh, they're also a pawn? They're going to be punished, but less than the person who did it to them. And so on and so forth until we find the root of the matter. That is the American free speech policy way of life. But ultimately, you have to stand for something as the life lesson of stand on business. Week 47, stand on business. You gotta stand for something or you will fall for everything. Those are just the warnings of if you don't actually believe. But if you actually do believe in what you're talking about, if you actually believe, remember, you gotta stand on it. Whatever it is that you care about or dare to say and mention, you have to stand up and defend, even if it can potentially turn you into a martyr. Right? One very big voice is Donald J. Trump is a terrible president. Donald J. Trump is someone who totally deserves every ounce of hate he gets. Donald J. Trump is a stupid, incompetent person who should not be leading. Donald J. Trump deserves death. Whoa. I didn't mean that. I didn't mean it. Take it back. No. Stand on business. We'll rally behind you. It's okay. Right? You have to stand on business. Even if you get locked up, taken away, arrested, or killed by the Gestapo. No matter what, you have to stand on business. If you take it back, everything you said means nothing. And it only supports the other side. You give the other side all the validation they needed to arrest you in the first place. I take it back. I lied. Guess what? He did. You know what she was doing. You're addressing the fact that you lied right now. That means you knew what you was doing. You was rallying people's emotions. You were ruffling feathers, and you shouldn't have been doing that. So you're still getting put in the timeout corner. 5 years. It was going to be a life sentence, but since you told the truth, it's only 5 years. No. Just stand on business. If you stood on business, maybe the crowd will have rallied behind you. Oh no, they sent him to prison. How could they ever do this? How dare? People could have stormed the prisons to get you out. Force somebody to help you get through the process and have your crimes committed, right? But you have to suffer like the martyr. You have to go through the sufferings in order to rally the people behind the cause. He should not go to jail for saying the president should be killed. Not at all. You shouldn't have taken him to prison. Get my mans out of prison. How dare you? But so long as you don't stand behind it, hey, you're just cementing the fact that you are definitely going to prison. You changed up, you switched up, that just means you're not going to be let out. Right? You testified that even yourself you was lying. So at the bare minimum, we're definitely doing something right now, right? Before it was speculation, now it's confirmed. You nothing but a lie, right? You gotta stand on business. Places with free speech are places you can freely believe whatever you want and speak on it, as long as it's not an order or call to violent action. You can go wherever you want, say whatever you will, and as long as it's not inciting violence, it's fine. But again, limits. America free speech policy is the most lenient, and gosh darn the entire planet. But there are limitations, because we are a relatively peaceful nation. I can't say fully peaceful, but we are pretty relatively peaceful. And we like that brand image reputation of a peaceful nation. So we can't just have you vocally inciting violence. Know what? We will let you vocally incite violence, but every vocal incitation of violence will have repercussions, and we want the whole world to know that. You called violence? Sick 'em. Sick 'em, boys. That's just how it goes. But hey, I'm beginning to digress. Yes, week 47 devil's advocate. You gotta stand for something. Right? Stand on business. Even if it turns you into a martyr, you gotta be aware. You gotta stand on business, because if you don't stand for something, let alone stand for the things you talk about and say or dare believe in, you're gonna be falling left and right for everything that comes your way. Right? You're gonna be swaying in the wind more than a fig leaf that was planted in the sand. You're gonna be falling at everything. If you don't stand for something, you'll be falling for everything. But again, I digress. So, like the video if you like what I had to say, or at least how I said it. Share the video for more exposure. Comment down in the comment section down below, or reach me at MILLENIANmailmen@gmail.com. I read my email section once a week. Share the video, subscribe if you feel like it, and always do remember, peace, love, and happiness, and all the best of things to you. This has been week 47 Devil's Advocate. Bye-bye.